you have the story of how animated movies are made. And along the bottom, you have a set of interactive experiences that let you get sort of hands-on in that world. Let's look at the story part first. Now, if you ask anybody at Disney, where does a Disney movie come from? They'll always tell you it starts with a story. It starts with a story. It's the same answer to everybody. And so, that's what we figured our app better start with a story too. So, chapter about stories. And then we go through the stages of production: visual development, character, layout and backgrounds. Eventually you get to animation. I was surprised how long it takes before you actually get to doing animation. Visual effects, all the way through the final process of putting together a movie and releasing it. Each of these is a chapter. Let's go look at the chapter on characters. So this is the page that you might see in any print book about Disney animation. And there's a problem, which is that these pictures are not moving. These should be moving. They're all scenes, clips out of animated films. So what you can do here is you can touch it. And we should be hearing it. Here, there we go. This is what you should be seeing when you're reading about animation. You should be seeing the actual animation. Let's go on to the next page here. You should be seeing that not just for a few of the clips. You should be seeing it for all of them. So on this page, every single thing on here is a little clip. I won't let them all play because some of them are long, some are short. Every single thing, I can touch it and it moves. It talks.
Anything happens to this, I'm gonna be...
Wow, that is so cool.
Lost Peter Pan.
We'll go on to the next page. Now, of course, not everything to do with animation is a clip. Some things are biz dev art, things like that. This is an example of something that I find particularly fascinating. This is an animation maquette. Used as reference by the animators to draw from different angles. These things are locked up in the Animation Research Library, and you can't get to these things. Absolutely nobody can touch these things other than the curators with white gloves. You just can't see them. Unless you have this app, in which case you can take your finger and swipe this thing and turn it as if you were holding it in your hand.
Cool.
It was quite an ordeal to get them to agree to let us photograph these things this way. And there's a bunch of them in the app. So that's kind of the idea, is that there's different sorts of things in this book, and we let you interact with each one of them in a way that makes the most sense for that kind of material. I'm going to go through here. I want to get to a particular page, partly to show you a certain thing on that page, and partly just because I want to kind of blow your mind about how much is in this book. It just keeps going. There's stuff from Frozen that you haven't seen anywhere. There's stuff that you don't see anywhere else. There's just a lot of stuff. And remember, that all moves. Here's the page I wanted to get to. This is the beautiful background paintings from some of the early movies. Any one of these could be in an art museum. What's the best way how should you interact with this thing? Like if you had this painting, this is an Ivan Earl background from Sleeping Beauty. If this was in your living room, what would you do with it? You might sell it and retire. But if you didn't want to do that, you might look at it. You might walk up to it. You might lean in a little bit. You might get out a magnifying glass. And so what you can do here in the app is you can get right up to it. You can see the individual brush strokes. Very, very high resolution scan. Higher quality, higher resolution than has ever been available anywhere. We have that for a bunch of these classic, beautiful backgrounds, as well as other kinds of visual development art. So I've shown you everything except how we present actual animation. Let's keep going here. We'll get to the chapter on animation. And I'll show you this clip. So this is a scene from Lion King. When you watch this as watching the movie, you see it as finished work. You see this piece of video that streams out. But that's not really how animators think about this stuff. They think about it in terms of a series of images that need to work together and that came from someplace, that were created in some way. So we let you peel back those layers. I can slide my finger down here, and I'm sliding here between the finished cells, the story panels, the cleanup animation. I can go back and forth. I can see what the relationship is between the cleanup frames and the final cells. This is something you've never been able to do. Not even anybody at Disney has been able to examine and study their work this way. And it makes you feel, it makes you feel closer to the people who made this in a way that's difficult to describe. You really kind of have to try it for yourself. So that's the story portion of the app. Let me switch gears a little bit here and tell you about the interactive experiences. One of my favorites is from Frozen. If I touch it hard enough. So this is as simple as it gets. It's basically a blank screen. And there's one thing you can do, you can swipe it with your finger. And when you do that, you get a flurry of snow. So this is a visual effects, a particle system simulation. It's based on the same algorithms, the same math, the same techniques as are used in creating this effect in the upcoming movie Frozen. There's only 100,000 particles of snow here instead of a couple million in the movie, but it's happening in real time, and you're able to art direct this effect with your finger in exactly the same way that the artists working on the movie art direct the special effect that's used in the movie. And because this is an app that's about learning, we explain how this is done, what the algorithms, the techniques are behind it, and you can read about that and learn how it works. So this is sort of putting you behind the scenes, letting you get your hands on a tool that's used in the production of the movie. Probably the ultimate example of that we have in here is this animation workshop. So this is the genuine article. This is the actual Vanellope, by which I mean it is a CG model derived directly from the model used in the movie. It's rigged and it's controllable. I can zoom in. I can touch one of the control points, if I could see it. I can move the joints around. This is designed to work not like a video game, but like the animation software that's used in producing these movies. So it's very flexible, it's completely open-ended, you can do anything you want. And it's keyframe animation. So along the bottom you'll see a set of key poses that have been laid out in this example. If I slide my finger sideways here, you'll see it plays out that piece of animation. I can go back and forth between each of the key frames. And if I click play, it will now play out this animation. Because this is a real model, not a canned video, I can do that from any angle. I can watch what's happening from behind. And perhaps most remarkably, I can actually share this video. I can export it as a movie file, post it to Facebook, Twitter, email, YouTube. We are amazed, within less than 24 hours of releasing this app, there was a video that showed up on YouTube that was better than anything I had seen done with this tool. And I don't know who did it. If it was one of you guys, let me know, because it was amazing. That's the first, you've never been able to take a Disney character like this, tell stories with it, and share it with your friends. You can even send a file that your friends, if they have this app, can open in the app and work on your animation and modify it and add to it. So as you can see, this is a big and comprehensive app. There's a lot of material in here. And I want to just go a little sort of trip down the rabbit hole. What do I mean by comprehensive? One of the sections here is called the timeline. This is the complete filmography of the Walt Disney Animation Studios division from Snow White through Frozen. And let's start zooming in, see how far we can go. So we can start zooming. You'll see first things, a few more movies show up that didn't fit earlier. Now we're down to seeing all the separate movies. Let's pick one, touch this. We get a little film card of this movie, and we have a card for each movie. It's got the poster, the original movie poster, plot synopsis, and it's got these guys walking along. Go down a little bit. So here are the pictures of the major characters in this movie. But that would really not be good enough. These are not pictures. Each one of these is an animated clip.
When the world turns its back on you, you turn your back on the world.
So every major character in every movie ever made by Walt Disney Animation Studios, we have a walking, talking, singing, dancing clip where the character, kind of shows off who they are and what they're all about. That's pretty comprehensive. Let's keep going. A little lower, we have iTunes links for all the feature songs. So if you have your favorite songs, they're all collected here in a convenient way. You can get them into your iTunes library. That's pretty cool. And trailers for most of the movies. And then we have this little strip here at the bottom, these little sort of bar of colors along the very bottom, which you might almost miss. This is what we call the color map, and it shows the sequence of predominant colors as they occur throughout the movie from start to finish. And it kind of lets you see what's going on, sort of what mood is going on in a given part of the movie by the colors. If they're bright, happy colors, probably a bright, happy scene. If it's dark and, then maybe that's not maybe a scary scene or something. Like, for example, if at the end of Lion King, there's a big fire, and then in the battle, and then it's dark and it's night, and then suddenly it's happy again. You can see that if you look towards the end, right before the black of the credits, you see red and then dark and then bright. And if this isn't clear enough, you can touch the color map, and you can see a thumbnail, which I can swipe through here. So here I'm seeing the fire, and then the dark, and then happy, 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 everybody's good, and we're to the credits. So I'm sweeping through the entire movie here. This is the whole thing. Now it's thumbnails, and there's no sound, but it's basically the whole movie. We have this color bar for every movie, every animated feature film made by Walt Disney Animation Studios. We can put them together in one page.
What?
So,
Amazing.
it's my favorite feature too. So this is it. Like, this is everything. This is 30 million man-hours of work, something like that. From Snow White at the top to Wreck-It Ralph at the bottom. Of course, we can't put Frozen in yet because they haven't finished the movie. Can't make the color bar until they finish the movie. And I can touch this anywhere. I can go forwards and backwards through history. I can go left and right through the movies.
Oh my God.
So I can see, I love this, I can see everything. So when I say comprehensive, that's what I mean by comprehensive. That's one feature, one of the interactives out of a half a dozen that is itself half of this app. This is a comprehensive app. That's what it's about. Thank you very much.